Why should you care about dyslexia? Because it can cause an amazing amount of stress for both the person who is dyslexic and their loved ones. Many people think dyslexia is just a reading problem, but its impact is much wider than that. It can affect a person's self-esteem, emotional well-being, and relationships. The pain of feeling stupid, the fear of being judged, and the anxiety of not being able to keep up can be overwhelming, and the effects can last a lifetime. 1 in 5 people have dyslexia, and only a tiny number of adults who have it know that they do. This means you probably know someone who struggles with dyslexia, even if they don't talk about it or know that they have it. Your child, spouse, partner, or best friend could be dyslexic. In fact, you might even have dyslexia and not realize it. So what is dyslexia? It is a common learning difference in which certain areas of the brain are used differently than in the brains of non-dyslexics. The area of the brain that are used for interpreting written words, converting the sounds of spoken words into concepts, and short-term memory have been reallocated for other functions that can give dyslexics wonderful talents and capabilities. More on those later. This rewiring of the brain usually shows up as difficulty with reading, but it can present itself in many other ways. Dyslexics can have a hard time with dealing with the concept of time, directly answering a question that is asked of them, following the steps of a set of instructions in the proper order, identifying the priority of something asked of them, organizing things or projects, telling the difference between different directions such as left and right, and performing basic math. Dyslexia has absolutely nothing to do with the intelligence level of the person who has it. People with dyslexia are often just as smart or even more intelligent than their peers. But the problems with reading can have a dramatic effect on a dyslexic's emotional health. When a young child can't read while their friends can, that hurts. When they stumble through reading in front of class, that's embarrassing. When their peers have few problems following a teacher's instructions, while the dyslexic child struggles, that can be very painful. And when bullies call them stupid, that can lead to lifelong emotional scars. And that is just from the reading issues, not the other problems associated with dyslexia. So how does this affect you? Let's take a deeper dive. If you have a loved one who is dyslexic, they can act in ways that have helped them deal with this pain, but these methods may not be the best for the relationship with you. Your loved one may become very angry when symptoms of their dyslexia show up on a given day. For example, is your child always late for school? And do they get upset when you point that out? Do you fight with your spouse about missing appointments? Your dyslexic loved one may tell you it is not their fault for not answering your question because you did not format the question perfectly or in the quote-unquote right way. Do they deflect a discussion about missing an important commitment by pointing out your faults or blaming someone or something else for their broken promise? Do they avoid reading or doing anything that involves simple math? Do they get frustrated and angry when asked to do a list of things? Do they have trouble acting on the most important things first, causing tension between the two of you? It is possible that some or many of the arguments or emotional discussions with your loved one that you have been having are due to dyslexia. Those are just some of the ways that dyslexia can hurt you and your dyslexic loved one. The same rewiring of the brain that leads to those things can also provide your dyslexic loved one with wonderful things that really help you and your loved one. Dyslexics can sometimes more easily solve complicated problems because they have a unique way of looking at the situation. More companies are hiring individuals with dyslexia for just this reason, but it can really help your relationship when your loved one solves a difficult family problem in a way you would have never thought possible. Dyslexia can also lead to off-the-charts talents in artistic ability, creative thinking, music, dance, and even sports. The same condition that leads to stress, arguments, and emotional scars can also provide wonderful things for your relationship and enhance both of your lives. To sum it up, you should care about dyslexia because it can significantly hurt the life of someone close to you, and it may be a silent factor in arguments you are having with your loved one. Dyslexia can also provide some great benefits to you and your loved ones. If you or someone you know has dyslexia, I want to hear from you. Share your experiences and stories in the comments below, and check out our video on how to find out if someone has dyslexia. To learn more about dyslexia and how you can best help your dyslexic loved one, get your copy of Loving Your Dyslexic at lovingyourdyslexic.com.